We'll start our coverage in Washington, D.C., live near the Capitol, where we're joined by I-24 News senior U.S. correspondent Mike Wagenheim. Mike, we can see the last-minute preps underway at the Capitol as President-elect Joe Biden prepares to approach the building, now live on our screens. Explain what will happen and how this inaugural is unlike anything we've ever seen before in American history.
Well, the building behind us, the U.S. Capitol, is still, I guess, an active crime scene. That's what's so different. Just 2 weeks ago, this place was hosting an insurrection, riots breaking out here, people killed inside that building. It's a much, much different situation than we've ever seen in American history. And, of course, with the coronavirus pandemic still raging and at its peak right now in America, the National Mall, which is traditionally filled with tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of observers of the inauguration, instead will be filled today by 200,000 flags in their place. Meanwhile, in terms of the ceremony itself, things will get underway at 11:15 a.m. Eastern Time. That's 6:15 p.m. in Israel. It'll begin with the opening remarks by Senator Amy Klobuchar, a pro-Israel Democrat. She'll be followed by the chairman of the Congressional Inauguration Committee, Missouri Senator Roy Blunt. There'll be a number of speakers throughout the morning leading up to the inaugural swearing in of Joe Biden as president and Vice President Kamala Harris. They will include a poetry reading by a 22-year-old who just so happens to stutter, suffering from the same impediment as President-elect Joe Biden. There'll be the Pledge of Allegiance led by a Georgia fire captain who's been on the front line of the coronavirus pandemic. A number of other people have been chosen to participate based either on their personal stories or their connections to the Bidens. The invocation will be given by a reverend who was very close to the late Beau Biden, the son of the president-elect. There'll also be performances by Lady Gaga. She will lead the national anthem, in addition to performances by celebrities like Jennifer Lopez and Garth Brooks. It'll be Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor who will swear in Kamala Harris, and Chief Justice John Roberts, as is the tradition, will swear in the president-elect and soon-to-be president Joe Biden right at high noon.
How much security is there around you right now, Mike Wagenheim? I mean, D.C. has been referred to as it's likened to Baghdad's green zone at this time.
They've actually labeled, Jeff, the area around us a green zone, and then there's a red zone, which is even more strict in terms of the access. I've never seen anything like this in an American city. I lived in America for about 40 years. Nothing like this at any time, not even New York after 9/11. There is a massive, massive security presence here. Every federal agency, local police as well, 21,000 National Guard called in from across the country. Several of those guardsmen have been taken away from their posts due to some vetting issues in terms of a possible relation to right-wing militias and other problems with social media posts and things of the nature. The FBI, the Secret Service, the Capitol Police, a number of agencies coordinating not just inside the perimeter fence behind us, but the streets here, even in residential neighborhoods, have been closed off, cordoned off. You have to walk to a lot of places within the federal enclave here. The bridges into the city have been shut down except for one or two, and even they are closed only to local traffic and only one lane in. Most bridges only allow you access out of the city. Just a massive, massive security presence unlike anything I think America has ever seen, at least in modern times.
All right, Mike, thanks for that update. We'll be checking in with you throughout the program.